Hey everybody, welcome to tomorrow's headlines. Today it's Robin with Fireside Grace Ministries. So happy to see y'all, glad to be here. We have a lot going on. So today's episode is just me redoing the episode I did yesterday that got banned off of YouTube because I talked about vaccines in a way that they literally said is egregious violation of community standards. Imagine that. They use the words egregious. I wish that I had screenshotted it because I've never gotten a strike and been called egregious before. Well, actually, it's just a warning. Apparently, they took away my old warning because I had good behavior. So I got off of probation here for a little while. The overlords were courteous to me, I guess. But I'm going to redo this whole thing here because there's stuff in there that I need to hear. And I will just leave out the part about healthcare reform coming to America, and those reforms will include the removal of certain things from certain things that cause issues here, there, this, that, and the other thing, but I can't say what those things are or what the issues are or anything like that, so I will not do that because I don't want to get an egregious strike again, so I won't do that, but nevertheless. All right, so I hope that y'all have a chance to go check out Brandy's Etsy. It's called Peace Filled Designs. That's Peace, P-E-A-C-E, Filled Designs on Etsy. And she is selling just a lot of stuff on there, but her number one thing is the earrings that she's making for Christmas and the bars of soap that we make out of our own ingredients that we have, homegrown ingredients, goat milk soap, etc. And I use it personally. I prefer the goat milk soap because it makes your skin feel super soft and clean, but not dry. And I don't know, when I use body wash, I just don't feel as clean when I use body wash, and my skin feels a little bit dry and dehydrated. So we use these goat milk soaps that she makes. They smell great. They look amazing. Not that it really matters if you're going to use a bar of soap, I don't feel like, as a man, I don't feel like they need to be decorative. They just need to be functional, but she makes really pretty soaps. So go check them out, Peaceful Designs. That wasn't meant to be a commercial, just telling you the truth. She's working on making her own toothpaste right now, so I like it. I think it tastes pretty good, but, it's a work in progress, and it's got activated charcoal in it and all kinds of things. I thought it tasted like a cookie. I've never tasted cookie taste in toothpaste, but it was delicious. So check all that out. If you'd like to partner with us, that helps us. You partner with us at firesidegrace.com. As far as I know, you can't actually become a monthly partner on Fireside Grace right now because we won't be able to access any of that. We still have that issue with our website. You can still make donations through our website, so firesidegrace.com, and if you want to be a partner or you are a partner, you can just let us know you're going to donate through whatever, one of your things, and we'll send that out for you. Partners, we will not be having a partner meeting this Tuesday because Christmas will be coming, so Merry Christmas. It will be Christmas next week. It's crazy, right? Just think about that. Excuse me, what are we, 6 days away from Christmas? So that's exciting. Anything else that we need to talk about? Aliens, UFOs, Sasquatch, this, that, and the other thing? Like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and drop a comment for me for where you're coming from, so that way I can give you all a shout-out, as I like to give shout-outs. If you have a prayer request, please put your prayer request in there, because I find it to be, and Brandy also, everyone that works with us or for us, it's our honor to pray for you. So just let us know what you need. Hey, David Papa, how you doing? Hey, that name sounds pretty familiar, but howdy. Hey there, guy. All right. So, funny thing, I was out here, I was thinking about all of medicines Brandy gives me when I don't feel good, and I just look at her and I go, "You're trying to make me into a pasta over here." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You're giving me holy basil, oregano oil, garlic supplements. You're fixing to make me pasta sauce up in here." And it's funny that we don't really think like that, but pretty funny. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be she's gonna be sprinkling salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. It's gonna make you feel better. Hello, Victor from Florida. All right, so getting to the headlines. Let's get here. So. Here's one. Hunter thinks that by making a plea deal, getting convicted, and then pardoned, having his record expunged, etc., that he is now safe from prosecution. But he is not safe from prosecution. In short order, the entire 46th family crime syndicate, which will be pretty funny to if they called it like the 46th crime syndicate or something like that, like there's MS-13, and then we got VP and the POTUS 46 or something like that, the POTUS 46 crime syndicate, P46. Sounds like a criminal bingo, right? So anyway, the entire 46 family crime syndicate will be indicted. Their trafficking will be exposed. I had a dream about that a couple years ago, and it was specifically the Hunter, the Predator. Let's call him the Predator. I feel like that might be more accurate. It's a pretty good name to name your kid Hunter and be into the things that he's in. Anyway, I had a dream that Biden had passed away. And Joe was freaking out, calling his cousins, sisters, etc., all this stuff. All these things were coming out about the Bidens, abuses, trafficking, all these things. And this was a dream. I'm not saying that this is, actually happening in real life. But he was freaking out, and he was like, Dad's dead. Now I don't have any protection. Help me. What are we going to do? And he was freaking out. So that was the dream I had. That was a while ago. So next, I saw a portal, an actual portal being opened. This is a vision here. I saw a portal being opened over the Statue of Liberty in New York. By the way, if you're ever in New York City, don't go on the Statue of Liberty tour unless you're going to, climb up the steps, and it's a lot of steps. But you can just take a ferry across the bay and see the Statue of Liberty just as good as anywhere else, right? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. You can drive down to the bay. Where is it? On the opposite side of Manhattan there in Bronx or something. You can look out across the bay at where the Twin Towers used to stand and see the monument just as good from there, So, just saying, you can avoid all the hoopla. It's like in Buffalo at the Niagara Falls. Why even waste your time going to Buffalo for the Niagara Falls? Just go across the border. That's where it's better anyway. It's more of a tourist trap, but there is more stuff to do in Canada. Things you learn from being a New Yorker. Also, do you know in New York, people don't know what schlepping is outside of New York? I'm like, well, we're just going to take and schlepp it from here to there. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. They're like, what is schlepping? What does schlepping mean? They say slepping. What's slepping mean? Schlepping. It's when you pick something up from here and you take it to there. You schlepp it. Schlepp it all over the place. And I remember, but not for nothing, but though, when I came down south, I remember hearing the word cattywampus for the first time. And I was like, cattywampus? What in the world does cattywampus mean? Apparently, that's such a common thing. They looked at me like I was like, you don't use that word? I'm like, no, I've never heard of it. And then I get called out all the time because I say elementary instead of elementary. And I'm sure I'll hear some stuff about that. But nevertheless, let's get on here. Another thing. If you're in New York City, right, there's the Village, okay? And then also, if you're going to the Village, just ask people where the Village is. Don't call it anything else. And if you are going on to what will look like to you normal people Houston Street, it's not. It's Houston, okay? So if you're there, if any one of you are traveling, you don't ask where's Houston Street. It's Houston, all right? Anyway, so I saw a portal opening over the Statue of Liberty, and I wasn't 100% sure why it was there, but I could see it very clearly open. Now, a lot of times when you're seeing portals open in places, this is symbolic of something demonic that's happening, a gate opening, a demonic attack over the area, okay? And that was over the Statue of Liberty. So if I were going to interpret this from a dream perspective, I would say something's going to open up over New York, something bad's coming, so you got to pray for these guys. However, I continued to pray, and I saw a portal open in another area, and they were portals that you could look through, kind of like what they had down in, I think it was in Times Square or down in Manhattan somewhere, where you could look into Dublin. Then they shut it down because that girl went through and flashed a bunch of people in Dublin or whatever, and so they had to shut it down. I saw portals like that, except these ones you could walk through, and you could walk through them anywhere, basically, in the solar system, galaxy, universe. It was the weirdest thing. It was like somehow it all worked on quantum entanglement and quantum theory, string theory, and all this, everything being attached from point A to point B, and people could just walk like they were going to France to see the Eiffel Tower for the first time, see everything, come back home, 45-minute trip. And most of the time it's just spent walking around there. I heard, while I was praying, a voice say, "One day we will see open portals where you look from your place on earth into another place on earth, or even through the universe. There will be open doorways that you can enter into." Now, let me tell you something. I don't want to use these, because to me these things are a manipulation of spiritual principles, spiritual realities. This technology that's about to be released is a lot of bad stuff from these creatures. Now, of course, it can be taken over, but if something has to change, your frequency, your vibrations, your consciousness has to be used to manipulate this stuff, then trust me, that's demonic, and there's going to be so much of it, and it's going to be it's real hard. Anyway, I did see also. Now, this is tying into, I think this ties into the drones, and I think this ties into what Brandon from Last Day saw. And I don't typically watch a lot of stuff from other people, and I don't really tune in and stuff. But every now and then I get a short or a reel or whatever it's called on YouTube popping up. We have a TikTok. I don't ever use it. I don't get on it. I don't manage anything on it. I don't do Instagram, TikTok, none of the stuff. I don't give a rip about social media, really, in general. Mostly all you see on there is smut and trash anyway, right? But I remember I saw one of these things where he's talking about how he saw drones coming, and these drones were tying into the mark of the beast, and I think he said something about how they have like these holographic emitters or something like that he saw. Now, that struck with me when I heard this prophetic word that I'm about to give you, because I saw that there was going to be a new technology released called solid light, and that it would come to the forefront of entertainment, etc. It would be on our phones, TVs, how we did interviews with people. It would be like we were sitting in a studio with somebody, and we didn't even have to travel. We just sat down in our chair, popped up that 3D stuff, and then that would project a realistic-looking image of us there, and we could do conferences, movies, shows, whatever it was, and it took away the ability or the need to have to travel to be somewhere. And it would be like in real time, you could be there. It's called solid light, kind of like a holograph emitter from the holodeck in Star Trek. It was pretty cool. It was 3D technology that allowed games, movies, video calls, etc. to appear as though the people and places were right in front of us, like a type of projection similar to Star Trek. And I saw that would tie in, Brandon saying that would tie into the mark of the beast somehow, and I thought that was very interesting. So now here's the healthcare reform part that I'm going to not mention, but I'm going to leave it here in my notes so that way when it happens, this is what got me kicked off last time, and then I prayed for people with the Roner. I talked about this yesterday, and I got kicked off, so I'm not going to talk about it again today. While in prayer, I saw a vision of a push for a global digital currency. Okay? There was a push and an effort to create a currency that could be used by any nation anywhere in the world without the need for going through an exchange. However, countries that opted into the newly proposed digital currency could still retain their own cold hard cash and national currency. They didn't have to dump everything into this digital thing. Okay? And one of the things that I saw was that this was something that people could use for traveling, for doing international business deals, etc. And somebody had said to me, that sounds like XRP. That's what they have planned for XRP. And maybe, but I have heard some stuff about XRP being involved in stuff like this. And honestly, If we're going to be realistic, most of these cryptocurrencies, etc., are involved in stuff like this. The whole reason it was created was for stuff like this. It's a CIA government program that they created so that they could get us used to the idea of putting all of our money into something digital. Why would they do that? Kind of like when the credit cards came out and the chips came out, and everything's just building up to that, and we sound like stupid, crazy conspiracy theory people, yet all the stuff that people keep saying is going to happen keeps happening. So, I mean, it's like X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm talking about? Like, how can you not see it coming? You know what I'm saying? So, I saw that. It was a push to be a global currency. Anybody could use it. You didn't have to have exchange rates. It would automatically do the exchange rates into other nations for you. So if you were doing business in those nations, zip codes, area codes, whatever, nation codes, whatever it is, they would automatically transfer. And this was part of the push for a global currency. It was subtle. It was slick. They said, well, we already have the infrastructure here. People use it very well. Let's just transition. And they'd be like, oh, well, then the price of it will go really crazy high because all of our money will be put into this united global currency. And, we know where that's going. We know where that's heading, and it's coming real quick. I'm trying not to talk about aliens because I know people get tired of hearing about it and stuff, but Donald Trump's very specifically said he is going to tell the world in his term, in his presidency when it starts, that about extraterrestrials and aliens, and spill the beans and say we're not alone out there. What do you think all of this is coming to? Why are they pushing all of this the way they're pushing all of this? Moving on to the next headline. You just have to think. And if you want to learn more about that, get our book, The Mark of the Beast, From Creation to Revelation. I would recommend get it off of Amazon. We've only got like 2 books here, so ordering it from our website's not going to help us. And it's going to make you wait longer because we'll have to order more, and then we have to have the money to order more, and it costs like $100 to order like 50 books or something, So I think it's a little bit more than that, but it's a lot. That's not counting shipping. Anyway. We can expect to see Ethereum hitting an all-time high over 10,000. So I was praying, and I specifically saw ETH, okay, while I was praying, and ETH went up. It went over 4,000, and I saw it go to 4,500, and I saw like a explosion of confetti. Everybody's celebrating. It was like 4,500, 4,900, 5,000 people are all celebrating. Like, it's reached an all-time high. Oh, it's so amazing. And then it kept going. It just kept going and going and going, and it reached $10,000, and it was like relatively quick. So, that's something that you can expect to see, and not too far in the future. So that's like exponential growth. You know what I mean? That's like 2 times or 3 times or more of what it's currently worth right now. Also, while I was praying, I saw XRP going over $5. Isn't that interesting? God usually doesn't give me like super specific words like that. I saw XRP going over $5, so it was really quick. And then shortly after that, there was a price correction. Okay, so after it went up to $5, there was a price correction, which obviously a price correction means that there's going to be a dip afterwards. So, excuse me, I think that will help anybody. We do have a digital version of the book. If you can't afford to buy the book, please email us, firesidegrace@yahoo.com. Tell us you want it. I will send you the PDF version of it. Okay, gladly send it to you. You can donate whatever you want if that's what you want to do. We appreciate that because we did put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, to answer your question. Okay, so I hope that helps somebody with the XRP stuff because and it'll help you somehow. We've helped so many people. You have no idea how many testimonies because we don't talk about this and we don't share stuff. We're not trying to blow our own horns or bolster ourselves up or do prophecy fulfilled unless it's something we think is an important prophecy fulfilled. Especially when we've changed things with prayer, right? So we don't do that kind of stuff. We very well could. We have a lot of stuff coming to pass all the time. It's not like we had somebody doing prophecy fulfilled blogs for us, and they could sit down for an hour or 2 and just have like 5 or 6 prophecy fulfilleds from an episode that they randomly picked from the past 4 years. And so we have that happening. It's not like it's not happening. And most of you have been here for a long time, and you know that it's true. That's how I can tell when certain people come along and they haven't been here for a while. and someone says, "Oh, please, this is all hogwash, poppycock, nonsense, whatever. Proof that you've ever gotten anything right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, bye, Felicia. I got nothing to say to you. I don't have to prove myself. Satan tried to get Jesus to prove who he was also, and I'm not falling into that trap. This isn't 2020. I'm not just some new guy on the block." I would never say new kid on the block because, I mean, all I think about new kid on the block is not great things. There is a show that Jonathan Knight has on HGTV right now called Farmhouse Fixers. I love that show! Basically, all Brandy and I watch are HGTV shows. So if you all know Jenny and Dave Mars in Bentonville, please hook us up. We want to meet them and just have a cup of coffee. Okay. Anyway, I also saw that there would be 2 price corrections on Bitcoin. One price correction started happening yesterday, and I don't know what's going on with Bitcoin. I don't check it. I don't know. So there's a price correction coming, and then there was, after the price correction coming, there was a growth that happened. So it goes down, stabilizes, and then grows again. Okay, what I'm saying is the price correction is not the growth. The price correction is everything drops, and then the growth is going up. I had some people ask me about that. I must have said it somewhat confusing yesterday. And then I saw a second growth of the coin going up higher and reaching a new all-time high, and it was like a very big, very rapid growth, upwards of around $120,000. It was real quick, and then it came down, and I think it came down, it was like 15%. It was like a 15% correction, which really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a correction. You know, it's like $10, $15, $20,000 correction, which is like a big deal when it happens all at once. It can look like a flash crash, right? But it was a significant correction, and then it leveled out and then started to grow again. And of course, you know, it's going to continue to reach new all-time highs and keep going and keep going and keep going. So that's just, you know, but one day Bitcoin won't exist anymore. None of that'll matter. When everything gets turned into a global currency, and all you do is transfer it and have yourself a buku ton of money. As they say out here, buku. How they say in Creole, buku. I say beaucoup. Parce que je parle français un peu, pas plus. That might not be right. Pas plus. It's like, doesn't sound right, no. Pas beaucoup, un peu. I don't get to practice. If you want to practice French with me, I greatly appreciate it. I've got one person who's learning Hebrew. I can practice Hebrew with him. Okay, so I saw that 15% price correction is somewhere in that range. I don't know exactly when it happened, if it was the first correction or the second correction, or if this is actually the first and second. You know, I don't know if it's in consequential order. Okay, so just trying to give you, because I know that if I don't like specify and clarify now, I'm going to hear somewhere down the road that I was wrong, I'm false, I'm a false prophet, I deserve to be stoned to death and kicked out, and I listen to demons. I hear it all the time from these people on their websites that harassed me in 2021 because I called out a witch. That's 100% a witch, but she has like 500,000 subscribers, so look at that. Witchcraft sells, who would have thought? Anyway, so I was seeing like a 15% correction. Okay, now here's the last one. I saw a state going bankrupt, and you're not going to believe what state it was. It's going to be completely shocking to you. California. It's probably not shocking to you at all, right? I mean, they're just taking people's money hand over fist through taxes and laws and regulations and rules and woke new age agenda laws, etc. So we need to pray for California. We need to pray that their laws change, that their governors change, their leaders change. I was seeing that Gavin Newsom would not be in power much longer, that he's going to go bye-bye. He's actually going to do a lot to try and help Trump, believe it or not. Just like when Mayor Adams came in over New York City, I had prophesied he's going to come in like a Democrat and he's going to leave like a Republican. And that's where he's at right now, right? Okay, so I saw California going bankrupt. I saw The state was losing massive amounts of people. People were moving out because the economy had become so bad due to new regulations and new laws that were being passed that hardly anyone could even afford to live there. And so one of the things that you will see is they're going to try and really push EV cars. And I saw that they would put a ban on gasoline sales where you couldn't buy a certain amount of gasoline. Then eventually they want to make it so you can't buy any gasoline within the next 5 or 10 years. That's what I was seeing prophetically. Okay, this is the stuff we need to pray about and stop from happening, because it's not cost efficient to buy an electric vehicle, especially in a state where they're struggling to keep up with the electricity demands anyway. It costs, on average, more than $18 a gallon to fill up an electric vehicle car with electricity versus how much it costs to fill up a gas car. You know what I'm saying? That's a disparity. Whatever. That's ridiculous hoopla, right? If I have to pay $18 a gallon, I get about 300 miles on one charge. My van gets 18 miles to the gallon, not $18 to the gallon, 18 miles to the gallon, and I can go 372 miles on one tank, right? And I don't have to sit for half an hour to charge my car, So to me, it's hogwash. I can't sit somewhere that long with my kids and wait for my car to charge. I'm going to throw a gas generator in the back of my car, pull over on the side of the road, and charge it while I play video games or something. You know what I mean? But, come on. So we need to pray for them, because that was one of the things that I saw was going to happen. There was new laws and regulations being passed. Hardly anyone could afford to live there. I saw a ban on the sales of gasoline in an effort to force people to purchase electric vehicles. And there was other regulations and other things that they were doing. One of the things I saw that you need to pray against is that there were a couple states that started to make it to where pedophiles wouldn't go to jail. And I do believe that one of those places was California, and that they were going to try and legalize that. That if they could prove that a child was consenting, or at some point, it's even going to get so bad that if they can prove that they were, that they have their full faculties, that they were a person that, listen, this is going to sound like reincarnation and stuff. This is how bad it gets, where they can prove that they had previous lifetimes and they're fully conscious now, that they were, that old then. Sounds like just crazy, poopy stuff, right? But that's where the world's going. That could be way down the road, but nevertheless, it's all going to tie into what they're really going to push is the whole consciousness thing, and how we're all part of a collective consciousness, and we all share each other's memories, and we can all come back in this form and restart and all that stuff. All that stuff, it's not true. There's one way to get to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. He is the only way to get to heaven. He paid the price for our sins. There is no reincarnation. There is no, you don't go and make an atonement for your sins in hell and then get to heaven. You have one way, you have one shot, and that is through the blood of Jesus Christ. Period. End of story. They're going to try and teach you all that stuff, and they're going to try and make Christians look like fools, because all of that stuff ties into the technology that's coming. However, love you guys. Be blessed, and I will see you again next week on Christmas Eve. Until next time, bye, guys.